we've made the trip now, a pretty short trip, from Orange City over to Sheldon now. And Dan, I'm going to show the building. Where are we?
Well, this is St. Patrick's Catholic School. It was a kindergarten through 8th grade school when I taught here. This is the first school that I ever taught at. I started my teaching career with a half-time contract that was worth $3,000 a year.
Boy, you're rolling in it.
That was big, man. They paid me. I coached every sport you could think of with boys and girls, but it was fun.
Yeah.
They didn't have some of the sports, and so the kids were interested. So we started them.
Yeah.
And it was a blast when I was here. The second year I taught here, I got 100% raise.
Wow.
I went from half-time to a full-time teaching position.
Yeah.
So they just doubled my pay. So I went to $6,000, and that was pretty exciting at that time. So
Yeah.
it was a great place to begin teaching. It was a wonderful community of nuns that were here, and some of the other lay teachers that were here along with me were really fun to be with. It was a great place to start teaching.
Yeah. Okay, and you didn't have to be Catholic to teach here?
No, that was an interesting thing also. In fact, one of the questions I was asked was what was my religious standing, and the Monsignor was an older gentleman, and he was fantastic, and principal was a nun. And they asked me that question, and I said, well, I don't believe in organized religion. Woo, I thought the nun was going to fall out of her chair. I went on to explain, however, that when I say that, it doesn't mean that I don't believe in religion. I do. I think I have a pretty strong faith. But what I meant was that I didn't believe that I'm a Lutheran. That didn't mean that Lutherans are the only thing that's going to be only people that are going to get to heaven.
Yeah.
Nor are Catholics going to be the only ones in heaven. I just don't believe that.
Yeah.
So that's what I meant, and they thought that was a decent answer. In fact, the Monsignor just smiled at me and he said, well, you got out of that one pretty well. I liked him a lot. He was really nice man.
Yeah. And on our drive up here, you were telling me about the schools that you guys would play. So who was that? Relay that information again.
There was kind of a little bit. There was four schools in the area that the Catholic schools. There was one in a little town south of here called Hospers. Another town south was Granville, had a Catholic school, and then the town of Alton had a Catholic school. And we would play home and away with each of those schools, and then there were some other schools that we played. We played a Lutheran school in Germantown, which is not real close to here, but it was.
Yeah.
We played them. We also played Christian school, which is a Dutch Reformed parochial school here in Sheldon. Sheldon's an unusual town. They have 2 parochial schools plus a public school.
Yeah.
It's kind of unusual.
Yeah. Okay, so do you have any memories, any favorite memories about, actually teaching here?
Yeah, one of the things that I had kind of picked up when I was, in fact, me and one of the guys that I graduated with from UNI would talk about being social studies teachers, and one of the things that we always thought would have been great fun would have been to teach a class based on modeling.
Oh.
Where kids would be asked to build models of whatever something out of the era or the time that we were studying.
Yeah.
So I kind of took that a little bit because I was dealing with 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, 5th graders too, I think. Anyway, I was dealing with younger kids, so what I did was I'd ask them to make small models that they could use, cardboard, things like
Yeah.
that. And I'm telling you, those kids came up with some really, really fantastic models that they made, and it was just a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
I hope a good memory for them.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. In St. Patrick's Catholic School, this is where they.
One other
Yeah.
interesting thing, you might see the church is behind us over here.
Yeah.
You can see there's an alleyway that goes between the church and the school.
Yeah.
There's a tunnel underneath
Oh.
the alley, and we would go from the school through the alley into the basement of the church where they had lunch.
Oh.
Talk about great lunches. Oh my goodness gracious, they were fantastic lunches.
Yeah.
Couldn't beat them. You couldn't go to a restaurant and get a lunch like that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. All right. Anything else that we should know about you in this place? Do you think anybody here remembers you?
What?
Do you think anybody here remembers you?
I doubt it. Some of the old kids, if I saw them, would maybe. In fact, I know there are a couple of. They were kids when I had them. They're grown-up adults now that are businessmen,
Okay. Yeah.
business people in here. They would remember me.
Yeah. That's cool. I guess I've sort of asked this question about the other places we've been. So is this what it looked like when you were here? Okay.
The only thing is the sign has been added and
Yeah.
shamrock on painted on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Right on.
Okay.
That.
All right.
The windows have been filled in. They were all open.
Yeah.
There were windows where the brown is.
Yeah. And then you were saying as well that this area over here.
This was a vacant lot that was part of the property as well, and we would come over here. Did a lot of football over here with the
Yeah.
kids.
That looks like what I would want to do with it. Yeah.
I was a PE teacher, so I
Okay.
got to do PE the way I wanted because I hated PE when I was a kid.
You hated PE?
Oh, I did not like PE.
What?
Well, they never played the games I wanted to play. I wanted to play baseball. I wanted to play football. I wanted to play basketball. We played soccer and volleyball and kickball. And that wasn't my thing.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see what else we can find out about Dave at the next spot.